Welcome to FUPDATE. It's been more than 2 years since LSS released the Flesh and Blood. Throughout that time, they have built a massive community that is alerted every time a post is popping up on the Flesh and Blood page. That is why we decided to launch FUPDATE. FUPDATE is going to be a series of videos that are going to cover news, previews, releases, statistics, or actually we are going to be following every single LSS moves just to keep you up to date. We're looking to launch it every Tuesday and probably you will see us weekly. So let's start. We will start with actually a year summary because the 2021 was actually a special year for LSS, but also for us, community. So let's start with a summary. Even though 2021 was not an easy year for all of us, mostly because of the COVID presence, it actually has been a great year for LSS. Because of the growth that we've noticed in the active player database that was visible on every single event they've made. But let's start from the very beginning. January, the first competitive event of the year. Auckland, the calling. I guess the presence of more than 150 players in that only event in New Zealand is showing us that the game is being enjoyed by many of us that decided to actually invest in the Flesh and Blood. During that event, we also found out that the Monarch will be released in May, and one more news was released to us. The announcement of the first skirmish season hyped up the whole community. How cool is that? First season of skirmish was a big deal event that was hoped to reinforce the live events. COVID undermined some of the plans for that, and the skirmish events were available both online and offline. Initially, LSS planned events for 16 to 32 players, but I guess they undervalued a bit the FAB community that showed up in the number of 65 in one of the skirmishes during the first weekend only. All in all, their skirmish season between February and March was a big success, where players from all over the world started to competing with each other. The biggest event in that season was the skirmish organized by Most Excellent Comics and Gaming, where 150 players from 12 different countries were competing together. It is also worth mentioning that the silent hero was Ira. She was the superstar of the event, and we all kind of enjoying seeing her climbing up the attention ladder. Skirmishes turned out to be a great source of experience for all the players that were hungry to be first to get their 1000 XP in their country. Psst, we as FAB-LAB also managed to get that in Poland. We were the first ones. Bolton Prism versus Chain and Livia. Livia? Olivia. I have no idea how to say that. Anyway, iconic battle between light and shadow. Sounds familiar. Yes, Monarch. That was the next big release from LSS that was awaited by the community. Monarch was the part of the skirmish season 2 that took over the community's attention as of the end of May till the end of June. Most of the players were still looking into the Ira as the meta deck for the duration of the second skirmish season, but it is worth mentioning that Chain deck crept his way up, surprising those that were resistant to play Monarch in the first place. So, during the calling and the skirmishes that time, yes, Chain was our silent hero. The second skirmish season grew up immensely with the stats, and we actually saw 246 events in 26 countries across the whole globe, with more than 6,000 people participating in it. Not bad, LSS, not bad. So, we are in the middle of a year, and LSS is not planning to slow down. 31st of July till 5th of September, Road to Nationals started, the first classic constructed event series of the year, offering the PTI to any player who could fight their way up into the top 4 of an event. Heroes like Chain, Katsu, Prism, Bravo, Dorinthia were the spotlight during that event, with Bolton showing up in the middle of the Road to Nationals as a competitive hero right next to them. We do like that. During the Road to Nationals, LSS marked a historical milestone by signing on the 2000 store into their GM. Congrats on that one. The Road to Nationals ended up with Chain's massive presence in the meta with 67 wins. Then Katsu follows with 29, Bolton with 20, Bravo with 18, Dorinthia 13 and Prism with 12. September for the FAB community was actually an important month too. LSS started revealing the first spoilers from the Tales of Aria with the new talent Elemental. Remember our snapshot? It was cool, wasn't it? Okay, in the middle of this month, we actually have met new heroes. Briar, a Runblade of Earth and Lightning. Lexi, a Ranger of Lightning and Ice. And Oldhim, if he would be a dwarf. He is gigantic. So, Oldhim, a Guardian of Ice and Earth. They dominated the post-Road to Nationals metagames and brought a completely different playstyle to the table. The different playstyle was very visible during a series of calling events LSS organized in partnership with Channel Fireball in the US. To kickstart a return to major in-person organized play events was super critical for us. 4 events across the US were held in Vegas, Dallas, Cincinnati, and Orlando from September to November. The Orlando one was important because it also was the first national championship in the United States. Those events gathered more than 2,500 players in person, and the prize pool in total was $10,000 US each of the 4 events. Briar, Bravo, and Oldhim, and Prism were the top decks presented there, what shows that Tales of Aria actually marked its presence very nicely there. The event that the whole Flesh and Blood community was waiting the most were the Nationals that were held in 22 countries in the last quarter of the year. The Champions deck were built on Briar, who got 13 wins, and then we had Lexi, Katsu, Oldhim, Chain, Kano, Dash, Dorinthia, Bolton, and Bravo. 1 win each of them. Come on, Tales of Aria. Okay, all the events were really amazing, and they gathered a massive amount of players that were enjoying the live events. But one event was a special one. The Polish Nationals, organized by Centrum Gier Pegas. It was a special event as a special award of the People's Champion was given to Tomasz Buda. He, over the whole year, was the mastermind behind all the Flesh and Blood events in Poland. Congrats, Tomek, well deserved. 2021 does not end for the Flesh and Blood community with the amazing national events. LSS decided to launch the Skirmish 3rd season that started in the middle of November. With the classic constructed metagame flipped on its head after the national championship season, the Blitz meta was primed to see the year out in style. Ira and Kano, as the 2 top decks, were joined by Briar that ended up the year with a huge mark of her presence. All in all, it was an amazing year that LSS planned for us as a community. And being a part of many of the mentioned events was not only fun, but also super rewarding. Thank you so much for this amazing year, LSS. We are looking forward to what you prepared for the 2022. Now, what's left for us? As FAB-LAB, we will be trying to release FUPDATE on Tuesdays. In those, we will be covering the key updates that are critical for the Flesh and Blood community. Starting this Tuesday, we will cover the New Zealand's Championship, as well as we will hope to see the first previews of the Everfest. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you on Tuesday. To już, tak?
Whenever you're ready.
FAB-LAB community, FAB-LAB community. Oldhim czy Oldhim? Dwarf, mogę powiedzieć? On jest dwarfem?
On nie jest dwarfem.
A jak on...
Jest pizda wielki jak szafa.
Briar, a rune blade with... gówno, jeszcze raz.
Rune blade with gówno?